The power of the ruling O'Donnell clan may have been diminished following the flight of the Earls from Donegal in 1607, but it's the flight of the modified men that RPM charts in this concluding visit to the 40th anniversary Topaz Donegal International Rally. In the ancient and beautiful lands of Tyrconnell, to give Donegal its original name, an army of Mark II escorts and their modified foes have gathered again for the biggest showdown in the land of the rallymen who've been rightly named the Entertainers. This is Ireland's modified Grand Prix, and it is also the fourth round of the Irish Tarmac Championship. The entries include the current leader of the British and Scottish Rally Championships, David Bogie, who has swapped his Evo 9 for a Metro 6R4.
It's been a really good year so far, so it's great to come to Donegal, you know, and have no pressure and really enjoy the weekend.
David won the shortened event last year, but Monaghan's mighty quick Daniel McKenna led most of the way last time.
The weather conditions are going to be a lot trickier than last year. It's going to be exciting in cars like these here with all the power going to the back wheels, but we'll just take our time. It's a long event and see what happens. Hopefully have a good run.
Welsh ace Phil Collins is next, followed by Lisburn's Wesley Patterson, and Manus Kelly is the top Donegal seed.
This is the pinnacle of the year. It's a long rally. It's 3 rallies rolled into one, and you can't afford to slacken on the first day. You have to get at it from day one, and hopefully it'll last.
Behind Manus there's some formidable opposition, including Circuit of Ireland winner John Dalton in the Darien. On the first day of this 3-day marathon, the faithful, as they always do, stay on for the entertainment. But for David Bogie, the entertainment doesn't last long, as we find him broken down at the start of stage 2.
No, it's disappointing, you know. We're not the best first stage, let's say, so, and we came here and there's a burst oil pipe, so that's forced us into retirement here, so hopefully we'll get it fixed and we'll get back out for the trophy rally.
Daniel McKenna is in dramatic form. He's second fastest, only to Tim McNulty on stage 1. However, a big moment on Atlantic Drive causes some worries, but he has a 26-second lead after stage 3. However, stage 3 Glen will be the downfall of Phil Collins, who rolls his escort shortly after the start. Donegal has been a jinxed event for the Welshman. And Cavan's Rodney Wilton hasn't much fortune, getting a costly stage 1 puncture. Manus Kelly loses significant time behind the punctured escort on stage 1. He was back in 21st place, but he's climbed to 11th after stage 3. It's Wesley Patterson and Marty McGarrity's first run since their big Circuit of Ireland crash, but they're 5th fastest on the opening Fanad test. This is in spite of a very spongy brake pedal. It's not what you want in a 320 brake horsepower Mark II escort, but at least the handbrake seems to be working well.
Tightens round. 3 right. Go at it.
By the end of the loop, Wesley's up to 4th, having been 3rd fastest on the Glen stage, which runs right through the normally sleepy little village.
Open 5 left. 60. Tight 5 left. Sudden immediate square right.
John Dalton is also in the hunt in 5th, despite having lost time behind a struggling Dennis Biggerstaff on stage 1. Donegal's Damien Gallagher and Mac Walsh have made a great start. They've been 3rd right from the outset. And that's just 1 second behind Cork's Barry Mead, who has little experience in the Donegal roads and is really impressing in 2nd.
40, best 3. Flat 4 right over crest, and left on flat crest 100.
Barry exits his first ever run through Glen Village, completely full of the rack.
Opens carry. 60 up, 2 left, and tight 2 right. Slippy after this now, Barry. Into 6 left. 40, 5 right in.
Donegal's Paul Harris, the former Irish national champion, is 6th on his return to the event in a Mark II. Guidore's Eugene Ferry is 2 places behind him and takes the Sideways Award in Glen. Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan are 7th. This is another fast Donegal driver, Martin McGee, who's 10th. But uncharacteristically, Adrian Hetherington is back in 19th place. It's all action inside Jeffrey Dolan and Conor Murphy's rare Sunbeam.
Long, slowing, watch it. One left long, slowing.
Jeffrey leads the Irish Tarmac Modified Challenge in this 2-litre Sunbeam, having taken the modified honours in Killarney. But he can't expect to keep up with the big 2.5-litre cars this weekend. And the wrong tyre choice isn't helping. The ever-entertaining Talbot driver has a 30-second road penalty, which drops him from 17th to 26th as he sets about making up time, passing the side of Phil Collins' misfortune.
Day one ends with a second run over the same Fannet Atlantic Drive and Glen stages, and tests in Ireland don't come much better than this. Daniel McKenna is extending his lead in the Scanbits Escort.
Had a good run on the first stage, but Atlantic Drive here, tricky stage. We're only 200 yards, the first corner basically. Come out over a crest and the car stepped out and completely lost control. And we're heading for a wall, and lucky enough, just by pure luck, we clipped the back of the car off the wall and somehow avoided to roll the car over, and the car was more sitting sideways on the road, so I got turned around and away, but the back axle was very badly bent, so we took our time out towards the end of the stage. We still set a reasonable time, believe it or not, but the axle was very badly bent then for Glen as well, but we've had it straightened up in service. But the half shaft here now is making a very, very funny noise. We don't know if it's going to last or not, so we're just going to try and take our time and get back to Letterkenny and see can we sort it out in the morning, you know.
Indeed, they do make it back to Letterkenny with an impressive 53-second advantage. Damien Galler is now the new second-place man and leading the local contingent.
We're lying second to Daniel. I mean, Daniel's just in a world of his own, in fairness. He just goes on and takes 10 seconds when he wants it, kind of thing. But we'll try and fight him as best we can.
Another driver putting up a great fight is Barry Mead, the Donegal novice ending the day in third place.
3 right into centre over crest, 150.
Wesley
Right.
Patterson shows
Very
us the
long
kind of
on
commitment
left.
needed on the fast sections of Fannet.
350. Flat right opens past the big shed, 300. Don't go wide. Left entry chicane.
Things are starting off better on this second loop for Wesley.
We've got the brakes sorted out now, so we're having a good run, and I think we're about 4th in the national. So
You had a problem then?
the brakes weren't coming up at all on the first loop. We've got that sorted out, so we'll be all right now.
Tight 4 right, maybe. 60.
And you
Absolute
need those
3
brakes
left,
for the
cut
tremendous
into
sweeps
centre
on the
over a
breathtaking
crest,
Atlantic
into
Drive
slow,
stage.
3 right and open 5 left.
But misfortune is on the way, as although he ends the day in fourth place, the engine is very sick. A cracked
3 right
piston
over
is the
crest
cause,
bump,
and he will
long
not
flat
make the
left.
start on day 2.
250. 3 left.
John Dalton's made some wrong tyre choices today, but the Welsh driver plans to attack the Saturday stages from 4th place after Wesley's retirement. Manus Kelly is just 18 seconds back after a splendid recovery drive from the morning delay.
We had a bad run the first stage. We were caught behind Rodney Walton for a couple of miles and we lost a lot of time. Kind of put us off our beat a wee bit, but we're back on it there. I think we're second fastest in that last stage. So
Well, hats on, let's go.
you're right. Cheers.
Eugene Ferry and Derek Hina are next up in 7th despite a fuel pump problem, with Brian Brogan just 3 seconds back in 8th. Paul Harris, a former overall frontrunner on this event, is thoroughly enjoying his Mark II in 9th place. And Mark McGee is happy in 10th, especially as he had to borrow an engine just to reach the start. While Jeffrey Dolan is moving up the field, despite a slight misfire in his 2-litre Vauxhall engine Sunbeam.
And 40, 5 left long, hold inside, into 4 right long, bumpy. 40, 3 left, and up the hill. 40, take ahead into double caution, 5 left.
By the day's end, Jeffrey, who is contesting the whole Tarmac Modified Championship, is 22nd and 5th in class and having a ball. So far, the modified master has very much been Daniel McKenna on a dramatic day when we lost David Bogey, Phil Collins and Wesley Patterson.
Day 2 of the Topaz Donegal Rally starts with 3 new stages tackled twice before 2 runs over the classic Gary Gorton Knockalla stages. With conditions patchy, the 2-wheel drives have a tricky morning. Modified leader Daniel McKenna is amongst the many morning spinners. He still maintains a 57-second lead after 12 stages.
Hitting the first stage again, we're lucky. Just a wee bit distracted. We've still a wee problem with the back axle, but we've no, we can't get any spare axle in or anything, so we're just trying to continue on. Hopefully it'll last. But I just wasn't listening to Andrew enough and caught out in a tight corner, and lucky enough we got away with it again. And then we had an overshoot then later on in the stage, but we're still in one piece and we're just going to try and continue on. Hopefully the axle will last at the end.
The top Donegal driver Damien Gallagher was second overnight. He was also a spinner on stage 7 and he's about to drop to third. On stage 12, however, he drops right out with transmission failure. It's a dramatic morning as Barry Mead, third overnight, crashes out on stage 9. And John Dalton is on an absolute charge. He climbs up to second by virtue of a fastest time on stage 10, being just a whisker behind McKenna on stages 9 and 11. Annis Kelly was fastest on stages 7 and 8 and climbs to 4th before he's sidelined with a broken half shaft on stage 12. With Manus and Damien Gallagher out, that means Brian Brogan takes up the mantle of top Donegal driver in 3rd place, despite suffering a broken brake disc this morning. Eugene Ferry had been ahead of Brian overnight, but an overshoot and side-swiping a bank on the Grove Hall test means he's now half a minute behind. Paul Harris is about to lose time, stuck in a ditch on stage 9. That allows Martin McGee to move up. Harvey is having a fabulous run. He's leading Class 13 and is 5th in the modifieds, despite grappling with power steering failure all morning. Rodney Wilton is on a charge, and he's set his sights on 3rd place Brian Brogan. Samuel Kelso is 7th and 2nd in Class 13 for the 2-litre cars. While Adrian Hetherington has woken up today, he's in 8th and climbing. Frank Kelly in 9th is 3rd in Class 13. Davy Graham has slipped his Evo 6 into 10th place after the morning's dramas. Mark Barnett is half a minute behind him with his 2-litre Escort. It's 1600 par for Kevin Gallagher in 13th, who leads Class 11 in the rare and sharp-sounding MG Super 1600. Jeffrey Dolan is next up in the Sunbeam. It hasn't been an easy morning for Jeffrey with alternator trouble. And just listen for this misfire. Now this spin on stage 10 adds to Jeffrey's problems.
Watch out, Jeffrey. Will not help your box.
He overcomes it beautifully though, and by reversing he doesn't have to travel back up the stage.
2 right, watch her. 2 left.
Arthur Kieran's, with his young son Mac co-driving, completes the top 15 as we head towards Knockalla, where the Bonner fans have marked their support for Vincent's nostalgic return.
Back in 1983, Vincent Bonner and Seamus McKenna became the first Donegal winners of this international event, and they've been reunited with the Mark II Escort for this 40th anniversary rally. It's been 20 years since Vincent sat in a rally car or even went close to a rally, but the fans have certainly not forgotten their Donegal hero, who also starred in an Opel Ascona and Manta 400s. Isle of Mull driver Callum Duffy has lent his Escort for this occasion, and they climb as high as 25th in the National, Vincent finding the new generation Mark II a very different machine from his 1983 winning example.
Yeah, I had no intention of doing any rally at all, and the club then got on to me to see with myself and McGetting, because we're the first to on it as a Donegal crew, and after a wee bit of persuading, yeah, they put a package together and this is us. I never thought it was as popular, to be quite honest with you. Every time I stop, there's people wishing me well and hoping that I'm going to come back and everything else. I can't believe it, you know. Really, really, really delighted about it all, you know.
And everyone is delighted that they make it back to Letterkenny to to a real hero's welcome once more.
Yeah, we're delighted to be back. You know, it was a very, very hard rally. In fact, when we were rallying it, I don't think it was as tough as this. And we are delighted to be back. We went off 3 times, and normally if you go off once you can never get on, but we were lucky we got on every time. So we're very, very delighted to be back.
I thought maybe it's more and better than this year than it did years ago. I think maybe the wee race did them no harm. So maybe another 10 years, come back to the 50th, please God.
Fabulous memories. And many will remember the Scanbits Escort's antics on this event, thanks to Daniel McKenna's sensational speed as he leads the Mark II men back to the Letterkenny finish this year. He extends his lead to 1 minute 14 seconds, in spite of a hair-raising fifth gear spin on the day's final Knockalla stage, and those continuing back axle worries.
We're still worried about this diff, but hopefully it'll hold out now for the rest of the rally. 6 more stages to go, so if we can get through them, we'll be happy enough. We're just being careful not to over wheel spin and going over jumps and stuff like that there. But yeah, we've good enough lead now. We should be able to, you know, just get the car home without making any silly mistakes and hopefully get the national, you know.
John Dalton was actually the fastest national runner over the final damp Knockalla test. It was a brave feat in this twitchy machine, and he now looks secure in second place.
The first stage after service was difficult because we lost brakes, just locked up several times with us, and so you just lose a bit of confidence on your braking. But it did get better as we went through, and then Knockalla, it just worked really well. We used the car and it was working like a dream, really.
Brian Brogan is a little less secure in third, as Rodney Wilton is starting to close, but 52 seconds should be enough. Rodney is driving an Escort that's been much revamped in recent months and is looking increasingly more comfortable in the driving seat. Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan are happy in fifth and happy with their choice of tyres for the damp stages. While Conor Harvey on his first Mark II outing is delighted to be joint fifth with Adrian and still leading Class 13. Martin McGee is just 5 seconds back, a spin on Knockalla costing him a few of those seconds. And Eugene Ferry is right on his tail, just 3 seconds behind. Frank Kelly, in spite of a wrong tyre selection, is now 9th and 2nd in Class 13, as Samuel Kelso retires. Davy Graham in his Evo 6 completes the top 10.
42 left, over jump.
Jeffrey Dolan is 27 seconds back in 11th.
Double caution, man.
And he's now 3rd in Class 13. Conor Murphy reads the notes as Jeffrey attacks Will Hare's Bend with gusto. As the day draws to a close, the Scottish fans are delighted to see that their hero, David Bogie, has come back out for a few stages in the glorious V6 MG Metro 6R4.
It's Inishowen ahead for the final day of the Topaz Donegal Rally, where there are 6 fabulous stages in store with 2 blasts round the streets of Buncrana to finish off a memorable weekend. For Daniel McKenna, it's a matter of watchful concentration as he actually extends his lead to over 2 minutes by lunchtime. John Dalton loses a little time with a broken throttle mechanism, and Brian Brogan in third place suffers from a misted up screen. He now has Rodney Wilton almost in his rear mirror, just 21 seconds behind. It's a race to the finish. Adrian Hetherington is keen to get to service. The Escort has a broken engine mount. But it's worse for Conor Harvey, whose great drive ends when the head gasket fails on the Escort. Only 4 seconds separate Martin McGee and Eugene Ferry in their battle for 6th place, and Frank Kelly has now inherited the Class 13 lead in 9th place, whilst Davy Graham in 10th leads Class 15. Jeffrey Dolan isn't far behind, and he's really loving the Sunday stages, including the sweeping Malin test, which borders the wild Atlantic shore.
100, 6 right, braking good. 200.
flying up the hill to the Malin hairpins.
There's a settled look to the leaderboard now as we start the class rundown. Winners in the historic category are Donal Connolly and Damien McLaughlin. David and Chris Baird are the Class 10 winners. Barry McGill and Jean MacDonald are first in Class 9. Stephen McFerrin and George New win Class 12. Josh Moffat takes Class 16. Kevin and Gavin Gallagher are the Class 11 winners and 12th overall. Mark Barnett claims 11th and 3rd in Class 13. Whilst Jeffrey Dolan further bolsters his lead in the Irish Tarmac Modified Championship in 10th place and 2nd in Class 13. He's overcome a lot of problems this weekend. Now it's entertainment time.
It was a good weekend. I had a lot of problems yesterday and today. 3 alternators, but yeah, you couldn't miss Donegal, you know, after all the hard work that Danny Gormley and the team puts on it. Like, it's very, very well run vet, you know.
Davy Graham takes 9th place in Class 15 and Frank Kelly wins Class 13 in 8th place. Eugene Ferry has to settle for 7th, but he's just half a second behind Martin McGee at the finish. Adrian Hetherington and Gary Nolan are pleased to finish this tough rally in 5th. But Rodney Wilton is flat out to the finish as he closes to within 8 seconds of Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan, who have the much sought after honour of being the top Donegal pair home. John Dalton and Gwynfor Jones are having a great year in Ireland, modified winners on the circuit and now 2nd in Donegal.
We did it in 04 and we won the national then against the local boys. We had a brilliant battle, but I have to say the pace has gone up a lot, and Daniel was just exceptional. To be fair, the times he's putting up is just phenomenal. He's a very talented guy, so you know we're pleased to come 2nd to him.
Daniel McKenna and Andrew Grennan have again shown an extraordinary turn of speed in their 2.5 Escort. This year they have the big trophy to go with it.
Yeah, we're delighted now we took the national win. This is our 3rd time now here. Last year we had a bit of bother before the rally was cancelled with a puncture and stuff like that there, but we're glad it went well this weekend, and we need to thank all the service crew and everything, because only for them we wouldn't have got going at all. We had bent axle and we had loads of different types of issues, and the guys got it all sorted in service, so only for them. The credit has to go for them for us to get the finish, you know.
Escorts are as old as the Donegal International and as entertaining as they were 40 years ago.
Forget about the things you know. If you want to do it, we can do it right. I can see you